Hello and welcome to the second Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light podcast. I'm Keir, the community manager here at Crystal Dynamics, and this podcast is going to be about audio. So with me I have Alex Wilmer and Karl Gallagher, the audio guys. Say hello, chaps.
Hello!
Hi.
And again, I asked for a ton of questions from the forums, and I've got loads here. So we'll do our best to answer as many as we can whilst Karl slurps his water. And so some guys also sent in their questions in MP3 or WAV. And Alex has kindly put them through the Zolot machine, and so they sound like the baddie from Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light. So let's crack on with the first question, which comes from Zebra from Tomb Raider Fourms.com, who asks,
how did you become a video game sound effect creator, and what initially got you interested in this kind of work?
How did I become a video game sound effect creator? I started off... when I was in school, I was pretty interested in sound, particularly music. I think it's very difficult to get interested in sound in particular. It's very difficult to say, I would really want to make the sound of, that explosion for that movie. It's much easier to get into music, and so I was in a band for a long time, and I was played drums, and I was the only person who knew anything about computers. So I ended up doing all the recordings and learning about sound that way. And then when I went to university, I did a master's in multimedia systems, and before that I did computer science. But when I did my master's in multimedia, I had someone teach me about sound, and he was very, very good, and it kind of got me interested in it as a career. I wasn't really sure exactly how I could make a career out of it, but I knew that film needed sound, but I didn't really understand what the process was for film. So I kind of came to California and tried to find work here. Actually, I went to New York first, and I did some production sound, so actually working on the set, holding a boom mic was my first thing. And then I came to California as I discovered about audio post-production. Audio post-production is somewhat of a black art. I think sound in general is somewhat of a black art. It's something that people just don't think about, because the whole point of sound is that it's invisible and that you never really notice it. If we've done our job well, you'll never notice sound. But there's an incredible amount of work involved, and so I guess I kind of learned what that was when I came to California and started working with a company called Berkeley Sound Artists. And so I worked there for just about 4 years, and then started working here. Actually, before all that, I was I was working in between my New York stint and my and working for Berkeley Sound Artists. I worked as a Foley assistant in Ardmore Studios, which is a film company in Ireland, and I got some really great experience working in Foley there. I think Foley is something that a lot of films just either don't have the budget for or don't really do very well, and I got some really excellent experience doing that.
Okay, and how about you, Karl? I know you've been here for quite a while now.
Yeah, so let's see. So my experience in games started about, I think, the beginning of 2004. I started working at EA doing testing for Sims 2 with Maxis, and had an awesome time. Management was great. And then after about 6 months or so, Sims 2 was released, and I was set onto an EA project being managed by EA managers, and it was quite a different experience. And right around that time, Crystal Dynamics was finishing up, I think it was around Alpha for Project Snowblind.
Mm-hmm.
And my roommate, Mike Peasley, was the sound designer there, and they were stuck and needed to have someone do some fairly menial stuff for the multiplayer levels of Project Snowblind, like doing some ambient sound work and also sound occlusion work.
Okay.
And he knew that I liked to learn stuff and would pick up whatever it was very quickly, and so I managed to get into Crystal and did that stuff very quickly, not having any 3D experience at all, and kind of in the process realized that that was exactly what I wanted to do. Not the menial stuff, but sound stuff.
Uh-huh.
And so I ended up doing like a localized, almost all the cinematics for Snowblind, and then doing the ambient sound work. I loved it.
Okay.
And so I started doing more and taking as much responsibility and as much work as I could at Crystal.
And so you've worked on Legend, Anniversary, and Underworld, and now Guardian of Light as well.
Right. Yeah, I started at the end of Snowblind, and then, yeah.
Okay.
And the DLC 2-packs for Underworld as well.
The next question comes from, I think it's one of 2 or 3, but it comes from, now it's Noodles RW or Noodle SRW, I'm not sure, but from TombRaiderForums.com. He has also recorded his question, which is brilliant, so here it goes.
Hello Keir, Alex and Karl. Question is, how many months have each of you been working on the sound for Guardian of Light?
And so how long have you been working on the sound for Guardian of Light?
I've been working exactly 7 months and 2 weeks, I think, or a week.
Right. Have you been counting that off on your wall, or that's quite a precise measurement of time?
I remember because I was hired in January 16th or 12th or something like that. So it's something like that.
Okay. And how about you, Karl?
Oh, God. It's very hard to say, because first of all, I'm terrible with dates, and also I kept on switching back and forth between the Guardian of Light and
Another project.
other stuff. I'd say probably it's started on it about a year ago,
Okay.
at least, and going bit by bit.
But it's fair to say some of the sounds in the game have been worked on for a matter of years. So
Yeah.
in that sense, you could say quite a long time you've been working on Guardian of Light.
Pretty much forever.
10 years.
Noodle SRW asks another question. Take it away.
Also, what are activities of a typical day in the life of a sound guru for Guardian of Light?
Alex.
So typically, it's difficult to find a typical day. I mean, you're usually working on one specific task, but that could be anything from either dialogue, dialogue editing. You could be working on a cinematic. You could be doing a trailer. You could be doing implementing sound, any kind of sound, like doing sound design.
Mm-hmm.
So typically the day, has oatmeal in it, and then everything else around that just kind of changes.
That's pretty much mine as well.
So it's kind of the work's varied.
Yeah, I might come into work and have some oatmeal also, assuming I can find any. If I can't, I'll have some cereal. But beyond that, it's like kind of looking to see what area I want to focus on that day, and then...
How closely do you work with the programmers and designers